Would it be all Rushmore 47 up here again? This is going to be another discography ranking episode. This would be like the fourth one within a month. This is going to be on a hip-hop crew I've been planning to talk about since I started posting on this channel. And it's the one and only Hieroglyphics. Now, you know the lineup is Della Funky Homo Sapien, Souls of Mischief, Casual, Domino, Pep Love, and formerly J Biz, Snoop, and Mike G. Now, if you read the title, it's going to be called the Mount Rushmore of Hieroglyphics. And the reason is because I'm going to be ranking only 4 albums of their entire discography. Because I think these 4 albums I have lined up, no other albums in the Hiero catalog can fuck with these. These are like exceptionally top of the line. So, before all of that, I gotta tell you how I got into Hieroglyphics. It was 2013, first time having cable dish network. The plan we got came with Sirius XM, and it had like 100 channels. And channel number 43 was a station called Backspin, which was like the classic hip hop station. And around late summer, early fall, when I started middle school, and one night I heard 4 songs that I just fucking went crazy for. Tribe Called Quest, We Need an Apple Bomb, Cypress Hill, Hand on the Pump, You Will Not Believe This, Rockmaster Scott and that Dynamic 3 with Questline, and Dildo Fucking Homo Sapien, Mr. Dabalina. Now, Hand on the Pump and Mr. Dabalina were the 2 tracks that stuck out to me the most. But more so the Del track, like the sample they use for the chorus. I don't know what movie it's from, I forgot. But like that dialogue sample, the beat, how dirty it sounded, Del's voice, and like how he was just delivering his rhymes, it struck a chord with me, and I downloaded all 4 of those songs, and I think Mr. Dabalina got played the most out of all of them. So that was 2013, and then 3 years later in 2016, when I started like getting into hip hop seriously, springtime I believe, 8th grade. Again, from Sirius XM Backspin, I heard You Never Knew from Third Eye Vision, group album. Fucking loved that. Again, loved the sample in the chorus. I loved the way all the MCs were rapping. I loved it. And then, again, later that year, around the time I first moved into this apartment complex, fall, I believe. Again, from Backspin, Souls of Mischief, 93 Till Infinity. I heard that. At that point, I'm like, okay, fuck this. I need to get into Hieroglyphics. So, before long, I checked out 93 Till Infinity, the album. I was fucking blown back by it. The production, Tajay, A+, Opium Festo, how they all rapped. It just blew me back. And then, soon after, I listened to other Hiero classics like Della Funky Homo Sapien, No Need for Alarm, Casual, Fear Itself, and Hieroglyphics Third Eye Vision. And I just became a Hiero maniac since then. So, yeah, I got 4 albums lined up to rank. Some mostly for the 93, 94. There's one album from the late 90s in here. But let's get down with the breakdown. Up number 4 is going to be from 1994. Casual, Fear Itself. This is like one of the albums of what people like to call the Hiero Golden Era. The other albums that people would put in that catalog is like 93 Till Infinity and No Need for Alarm. But yeah, this would be like the last one in that series. Underrated album, even as like far as Hiero's catalog. Most people would just think of like 93 Till Infinity and No Need for Alarm like Deltron 3030. But this is up there with them, man. Fucking great album. Casual has like one of the deepest voices I've ever heard for like someone his age. He was like in his late teens when this album was made, and he was definitely fucking super talented because the way he raps on this whole album, it feels like he's just freestyling everything. And the production has that classic Akai sampled 12-bit jazzy Hiero sound, like 93 Till Infinity has, but this one's like more like simplistic and like stripped back. It's more bass line heavy. The Casual rips every track apart. What's on here, man? You Flunked, Me Oh My Oh, that was a single. Get off it. That bullshit. Follow the funk. I didn't mean to. I love the backwards bass line in that track. It's fucking psychotic. A little something that with Adele. This is how you rip shit with A plus. Thoughts of the Thoughtful. Chain Minds. That's my favorite track on the album. Chain Minds. Casual produced that himself as well. And then B1000, the last track. Classic album. Underrated from 94. This doesn't really get brought up in that conversation. 94 hip hop. You know, this just I barely hear this album talked about, man. Almost never hear it brought up. So check this album out. Don't sleep on it. If you haven't heard it, get on it. Casual for Yourself, 1994. And number 3 is gonna be the group debut album, Hieroglyphics, Third Eye Vision, 1998. One of my fucking favorite albums from the late 90s, and that's all genres considered. Now, I know at this time in hip-hop, sampling was kind of like losing its popularity, but out came this album, which is like sample heavy as a motherfucker, and they stuck to their guns with being sample heavy, you know, doing that crazy abstract lyrical shit, and they made a fucking classic together with this album. The lineup on here, I believe it was down to like the main 8 MCs: Del, Opio and Festo, A plus, Tajay, Pep Love, Domino, and Casual. So I believe that's still the lineup today, because I know they had like, you know, Snoop, Mike G, and J Biz when they started. But fucking classic album, one of my favorites in the late 90s. Definitely stands out in like for its sound and just like its style and all that. And what's he got on here? You Never Knew, classic song. The sample in that chorus struck a chord with me when I first heard it. All Things. My favorite track, The Who, with Del. Del is like kills it on that track. And the beat has like the classic 12-bit Hiero sound to it. Doing a Thing. Oakland Blackouts. Mics of the Round Table, Seat of Light, another one of my standout songs. After Dark, that track is just fucking grimy. It's talking about like, it's still like an Oakland street track right there. And I believe that's an Opio solo song. No Nuts, the Del solo track, he kills it on that song. Miles to the Sun, the closing track. And almost all of the MCs on this album have like their own little interludes. So there's Casual, Festo D, Tajay, Pep Love, A plus, Opio, Del. And like that's like 7 out of 8. Domino didn't get his own track. Yeah, but this is like it's a pretty hefty album. It's got 22 tracks. Like I said, like 7 of those are like interludes, like minute and a half songs. So kind of a breezy listen. So if you haven't heard this, you need to fucking hear it. One of the best hip hop albums of the late 90s, and it's like my top 3 or 5 from 98. Hieroglyphics, Third Eye Vision, 1998. I gotta talk about this album a little bit more. I gotta expand on the production. Like I said, it's still sample heavy, but it's not really like as jazzy as you would expect from 93 till Infinity and No Need for Alarm. They kind of like broaden their horizons on their sample choices, but it still has like that signature Hiero sound. So number 3, Third Eye Vision, Hieroglyphics, 1998. Now number 2, I'm playing this album right now. One of my favorite albums of all time, one of the best hip-hop albums of all time. This should be like at the Library of fucking Congress. From 1993. Souls of Mischief, 93 till Infinity. I feel like this is like the breakout album for the Hieroglyphics crew. You know, let's get the subgroup of Hieroglyphics. Souls of Mischief is A+, Tajay, Opio, and Festo. I got this CD in like 2017. I found a sealed advantage stock, which like shocked me, cause I don't think it's like I don't think it's like an album you find at a record store every day, even though it was released on Jive Records. But fucking classic. It's got that fucking dirty ass 12-bit Akai sampler sound, and I know they used that because there's a documentary about this album called Till Infinity. You can check it out on YouTube. Amazing, fucking great documentary. And yeah, that was the kind of equipment they're using for these beats. And but you would think it was like an SP1200 from like how dirty it sounds. And jazzy, great production. Around this time, in the like early '90s, jazz was kind of like the East Coast thing, and the West Coast was more like the G funk and like the funky shit. But like Hieroglyphics brought the jazzy shit to the West Coast, so I gotta. As well as like Far Side too. So yeah, definitely a standout album for its time and like what the trends were. You get Let 'Em Know, the opening track. Uh, that's When You're Lost, song playing right now. My favorite track on the album. Opio kills it on that song. And the horn sample just gets me fucking hyped. So, I name I call myself. I love the beat on that track. Dell just went insane with that song. What a Way to Go Out. One of my other favorites, Never No More. Again, love the fucking beat on there. A plus. Yeah, man, A plus, man. I think besides Opio, he's like my second favorite member of Hieroglyphic. Not Hieroglyphic, Souls of Mischief. He killed on that song. And then you get the classic title track 93 to Infinity. One of my other favorites, Anything Can Happen. I love the beat on there, like the flute sample is fucking amazing. I love the storytelling. Like when I first heard this album back in like my freshman year, I played that song the most. Make Your Mind Up. That bass line on that track is fucking insane. Tell Me Who Profits. Classic album. One of the best albums from the '90s in all genres. One of the best hip hop albums from '93. Like one of the top favorites. Like one of my top 5 albums of '93. That's how much I love this album. So, Hieroglyphic. No, not Hieroglyphic. Souls of Mischief, 93 to Infinity, 1993. And number 1, not only my favorite Hieroglyphics album, it's my third favorite album of all time. And it is Del the Funky Homo Sapien, No Need for Alarm. This is from 1993 also. Mind-melting masterpiece. Like, oh my god, this fucking album, dude. It's dark, grimy, and it's still jazzy, dirty. Del lyrically is just a fucking monster on this album. These are my top 10 of all time, mainly because of how he raps on this album. The production on here, I already just described it. The production is unfucking believable. The samples they use, the way they flip them, are just, oh my god. Definitely gonna fucking review this in the near future. Maybe not near future, but sooner than later, I'll definitely get around to this album. But it starts with You're in Shambles, my favorite song on the album. The fucking beat on that track is just, oh my god, the piano sample and the drums, unbelievable. I think Snoop did that. Yeah, one of the former members of Hiero. So this piece goes out to him on that one. Catch a Bad One, that was a single. I love the Eric Dolphy bass line on there. It's just real fucking manic. And that was a song, and this was the album that got me into Eric Dolphy, my favorite jazz artist. Yeah, no, two favorite albums of his would be like Far Cry from 1962 and Out to Lunch from 1964, which, depending on the day, that could be my favorite Blue Note album. So that's a great song. The title track, No Need for Alarm, Del murders it on there. I love the Master A sample on the chorus too. Boo Boo Heads, again, one of my favorite samples of all time, from Jeremy Steig on there. I know that's a bassline sample. And Boo Boo Heads is like hieroglyphic slang for like a whore or a slut. So, you know what that song's about. Treats for the Kiddies, again, just murderous and just insane, violent shit. Worldwide, that is a really cool song because supposedly it features this cat named Unicron. Yeah, lyrics by Del and Unicron / Zomba. But Unicron is actually just Del with his voice pitched up, which that was pretty fucking cool how he did that. No More Worries, that has A+, Casual, and Snoop on it. That track kind of has like kind of feels like something you could hear on Fear itself. But In and Out, another one of my favorites. So fucking dusty. Miles to Go, I love that track. Oh god. Check it out. The beat on there. Fuck. Oh my god, that shit is insane. So dark. And then it closes out dark with Thank Yous. Unfucking believable album. This should get talked, in my opinion, this should get talked about like Illmatic, The Chronic, Enter the 36 Chambers, Aquemini, Only Built for Cuban Links, Death Certificate. This should be in that same kind of conversation. This is like one of those best of hip hop albums. So, Del the Funky Homo Sapien, No Need for Alarm. Check it in at my number 1 favorite Hieroglyphics album. My 3rd favorite album of all time. Thank y'all for watching. This was my Mount Rushmore of Hieroglyphics albums. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share this with everybody you think be interested in this shit. And until then, I'm out of here.